before that final grip, he had already a good position to finish the choke, but decided, you know what, I'm experienced, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's also a good display of sportsmanship too, being very nice with his opponent, not trying to break his jaw.
Shout out to Nicky Rod.
Getting back to that Russian Battle Jiu-Jitsu Super Cup, over 75 kilograms, yeah. Kamil Guseinov versus Artur Kspoyan.
Artur Guseinov, a world champion and a European champion in grappling, and a European champion, believe it or not, in freestyle wrestling.
Artur Kspoyan.
And you know, many expect the victory in this Grand Prix from Kamil Guseinov. So let's see what Artur Kspoyan can put on the table against this monster.
I see a man who's made of steel coming up on the mat. So Kspoyan is so big, so strong. Comes from Combat Sambo.
And fighting out of Lionheart, famous Lionheart MMA Academy. Coming out as a southpaw as Artur Kspoyan.
Very long stance. I like to see that. Very calm, very measured, both of them.
Yeah, very relaxed manner by Artur here. You know, you can feel his MMA experience. You know, like his stance reminds me of like karate stance a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, maybe he's got some karate background as well.
Both fighters are feeling each other out right now a little bit. We see landing some jabs, you know, see how your opponent reacts. That's what happens a lot of times in MMA setting, and that's what you see with experienced guys in combat jiu-jitsu too. And I tell you what, maybe Artur Kspoyan seems like a mounting of muscles. However, we see that Kamil Guseinov is very tall, very tall. He's got that body style when you can see the guy hits really, really, really hard. Very long legs. I think if this was in MMA settings, Artur would have a little bit of a problem with the distance that he brings to the table. Look, there we go. Okay, that's that freestyle wrestling experience right now, showing on the mats. The guy scored a beautiful takedown. Unfortunately, these takedowns do not score, so let's see what he creates from there. Maybe a little bit of ground and pound action. Maybe he switches to, maybe he goes to pass, to side control. Maybe he looks for the submission. Hopefully he does that. That's what I would like to see in Battle Jiu-Jitsu. These guys using attacks, using punches to the body, not just to punish the body, but pass to a more dominant position. That's what I would hope to see. And yeah, we'll see what Kamil Guseinov right now brings to the table in this position. There you go, goes with a head bust to the solar plex. Let's see what Artur can create from the bottom. It seems like he's looking for some kind of Kimura grip for a second. Now just being heavy on the head, trying to push him off of him. None of the fighters are breathing heavy. Both of them are in a great shape. We see what Artur is doing a very nice job of breaking Kamil's posture. He's constantly pulling on the head. Now, in this rule set, not only it stops your opponent from getting posture to land some punches, but it also stops him from headbutting you. Even if he headbutts you with your arm on his collar, it's not as strong of a punch because you can't gain that kinetic energy, you know. Right now we see that because his head is trapped, he decides to throw some punches. Artur so far is doing a very good job of not getting any damage. So even though Kamil is working from the top, always trying to gain his posture, but because Artur Kspoyan is not allowing him to do so, he doesn't take that much damage.
Yeah, Artur Kspoyan is trying to create some space, you know, just to push his opponent's head lower and probably trying to stand up here using that MMA specifics but the pressure of Kamil Guseinov is relentless. So it's very hard to stand up, you know, from underneath those, you know, strong wrestlers with great wrestling background, just like Kamil. Kamil is trying to headbutt here, trying to break his breath a little bit. And you know, all those punches reflect on the state of a fighter in the long run, for sure. So, you know, absorbing every each of them is pretty dangerous, you know. Still trying to attain that pressure, Kamil Guseinov, and combining it with guard passing. Nice. Now he isolated the hips, but good job by Artur Kspoyan in regaining his guard.
Again, one of the best and the most important things you can do from the bottom in this rule set, don't absorb too many punches, right? Because that kills your stamina.
That's for sure.
And your heart, bro. You can lose that will to win if you absorb a certain amount of punches to deliver to the solar plex, to your gut. Let's see what maybe Kamil Guseinov will switch a strategy. We see right now that he's working for that pass. He's actually pretty close, and he's about to get it. Even though Artur Guseinov is trying to trap his leg, but it's not too hard to get rid of. That hook is. Artur Kspoyan is super heavy from the... Again, with these wrestlers, right? Every time it's the same story. You know that they have unbelievable pressure from the top. Very hard to shake him off of you, you know. Very hard to get him off. Very hard to sweep because usually they have incredible balance. Very strong physically, you know, very fast. And let's see what Artur Kspoyan is going to be able to do. So here, he's turtling, which is okay. But again, you got to watch the back take.
Yeah, he just probably didn't have any other option. He tried everything, creating space, stand up, but the control is relentless, so that's why he chose to go to a turtle. And then probably, you know, it makes sense. Yeah,
because it probably didn't look so good in judges' eyes, right? Because he was basically stuck on his back for the most of this fight, and at least getting to turtle and having a chance to stand up, maybe clear off these chest strap that he has right now.
Yeah, and good ground and pound, controlling the wrist of Artur Kspoyan and preventing him from standing up.
Exactly.
So that's, you know, the MMA school. MMA clinic here shown by Kamil Guseinov.
Yeah, that's a very dominant performance. Artur basically didn't have any successful moments so far. But we'll see, maybe he'll do something. Jump on a leg attack, the Kimura, something. But it doesn't seem like Kamil is relentless. Kamil is always on him. It's like a wet blanket, bro.
Yeah,
this guy is super hard to get rid of.
Artur Kspoyan grimacing, you know, from the pain.
Right.
When Kamil Guseinov stepped on his knee here, probably it resulted in the injury. But still, just 29 seconds to go until the final bell of this match.
Kamil Guseinov has got a lot of gas in his tank. That's what people saying. You know, usually, again, that's the case with these freestyle wrestlers. They're very durable usually because they're used to a very high pace, and you might argue that Jiu-Jitsu is a bit slower pace. It's very challenging physically. A lot of static power that you need to have. Jumping over the guard, and again, threatening a back take maybe, and he'll go some big throw.
Not probably the most spectacular style, you know, to see here, but you know, it's effective.
It gets you the victory, and again, it's your job to stand up. It's your job to stand up. It's not the job of a man on top to work for a submission, or I mean, it is their job, but it's not his job to make it exciting. He needs to win. He needs to get a sub. He needs to land as many punches as he possibly can do, and then for Artur, it was his job to stand up. And of course, when you fight a guy like Kamil Guseinov, it's very hard to do. It's a very tall order.
And that's for sure. He just tried to make it 100% effective to make sure that he proceeds to the next stage of the tournament. It's just the first, just the first stage, quarterfinal, and probably Kamil has something in his pocket for the next matches as well. So let's see how he will go through this bracket.
I think what's good for Kamil is that there were not too many very explosive movements, not too many throws, not too many exchanges in the stand-up or on the ground, you know. It was quite static, so maybe it was smart also to preserve the energy for the next round. So, incredible performance by Kamil Guseinov. Very dominant. He didn't spend that much energy. I think in this rule set, it's a very important thing.
If you just joined our broadcast, so it's not too late. We will have a very long night of fights today, of jiu-jitsu matches.